Have you ever wondered what life is like for Barron Trump, the youngest member of one of America's most famous families? While the world often focuses on the public lives of his parents and siblings, Barron stays quietly in the background, but that doesn't mean he's ordinary. Behind the scenes, Barron is shaping a life filled with surprising hobbies, personal interests, and talents that few people know about. From mastering luxury sports to showcasing impressive bilingual skills, Barron's life offers a fascinating mix of privilege and individuality. And here's the best part: by the end of this video, you'll not only gain insight into Barron's world, but also find out how one of his hobbies reveals something unique about his connection to his family's legacy. Stay tuned, because what's coming might just change the way you think about him. Keep watching to uncover the story behind a young man who's carving his own path in the shadow of the spotlight. Let's start with one of his biggest passions: sports. When it comes to sports, Barron Trump doesn't just watch from the sidelines, he's actively involved. Let's start with golf, a sport that's practically part of the Trump family DNA. Barron has been seen perfecting his swing at the Trump International Golf Club in Florida. For him, it's not just about technique, it's a shared passion with his father, Donald Trump. Picture this: father and son side by side on the lush greens, not just bonding, but building memories through a sport that runs deep in their family tradition. But Barron's love for sports doesn't end there. He's also an avid skier, and Aspen, Colorado, has been one of his favorite destinations for hitting the slopes. Skiing isn't just a sport, it's an experience that combines thrill and elegance, perfectly reflecting Barron's taste for luxury and adventure. Then there's soccer, a sport that seems to be a personal favorite. Barron has been actively involved in playing soccer, with his mother, Melania, once describing how much he enjoys it. Interestingly, he's also shown curiosity about football. While Donald Trump has raised concerns about the safety of the game, Barron's interest hints at his willingness to explore and engage in challenging activities. These sports not only highlight Barron's physical skills but also reflect a balance between family influence and his own preferences. What's even more intriguing? Barron's sports interests reveal a side of him that thrives on both discipline and fun, qualities that shape how he approaches the rest of his life. And here's a little tease: one of Barron's hobbies we'll discuss later connects directly to how he channels his creativity in ways most people wouldn't expect. So don't miss it, you'll want to stick around for that surprising detail. Barron Trump isn't just talented on the field, he's got a gift for languages that sets him apart. Thanks to his mother, Melania Trump, Barron is bilingual. He speaks both English and Slovenian fluently, a skill he picked up early in life. Imagine being able to switch effortlessly between two languages, connecting deeply with your family and cultural roots. What's even more impressive is how naturally he's embraced his Slovenian heritage. During his childhood, Barron would often speak Slovenian with his grandmother. This isn't just about language, it's about maintaining a bond with his family that transcends the usual barriers of time and distance. It also shows how grounded he is, despite being part of such a high-profile family. But here's the twist: this isn't just a party trick or a childhood habit. Barron's ability to master languages hints at a sharp mind and an early sense of discipline. It's a skill that could open doors for him in ways we might not even anticipate yet. And speaking of untapped potential, there's a fascinating connection between his creative side and his bilingual skills that we'll uncover later in this video. Trust me, you'll want to stay for that. What it reveals about Barron might surprise you. Barron Trump's talents don't stop at sports and languages. His creative side tells us even more about his personality. As a child, Barron had a fascination for building things. Whether it was Lego sets or Magna tiles, he would spend hours designing and constructing. His mother, Melania, once mentioned how his creations always reflected a clean, minimalist aesthetic. It wasn't just about playing, it was about imagining something, building it, and making it his own. This love for structure and design speaks volumes about his way of thinking. It's as if he's drawn to the challenge of turning small pieces into something meaningful. And while most kids outgrow their building toys, Barron's interest in design has likely evolved, showing a deeper appreciation for creativity and problem solving. Then there's music, another layer to his personality. Back in 2009, a clip of young Barron went viral, showing him enthusiastically playing the drums. This glimpse into his musical side revealed not just talent but also an eagerness to try new things. It's one of those moments that makes you wonder, what other hidden talents might he have? What's particularly striking is how these hobbies reflect two sides of Barron's character. On one hand, he's methodical and precise, as seen in his building projects. On the other, he's expressive and bold, demonstrated through his love for music. It's a unique combination that hints at a versatile, well-rounded individual. And speaking of unique, there's a connection between Barron's private life and his role in the family that ties all of this together. Stick around, because in the next section, we'll explore how Barron's interests fit into the bigger picture of his life beyond the spotlight. Despite being part of one of the most talked about families in the world, Barron Trump has managed to keep a surprisingly low profile. While his siblings often make headlines for their careers and public appearances, Barron's approach is refreshingly different. He avoids the limelight, focusing instead on his personal growth and interests. Yet, every now and then, Barron steps into the public eye, and those rare appearances are telling. Whether it's attending a family event or quietly supporting his father's endeavors, Barron's presence always sparks curiosity. Recently, he's even taken on a more modern role serving as an unofficial advisor for his father's podcast. This shows not only his growing engagement with media but also his understanding of communication strategies aimed at younger audiences. This role hints at something deeper. Barron is beginning to carve out his space in the family's legacy, but on his own terms. It's not just about carrying the Trump name, it's about finding his voice in a way that resonates with his generation. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. One of Barron's hobbies connects directly to how he balances the expectations of his family with his personal identity. Stay with us because the next section reveals how his diverse interests tell a story of quiet confidence and individuality. Barron Trump's life is a fascinating mix of privilege and personal choice. Growing up in the Trump family means access to some of the most luxurious experiences in the world, from private ski trips in Aspen to exclusive golf courses in Florida. But what makes Barron stand out is how he balances this lifestyle with his unique personality. Take his love for soccer, for instance. It's a sport that emphasizes teamwork, discipline, and strategy qualities that go beyond the glitz of his upbringing. Barron's enthusiasm for soccer shows a grounded side to his character, one that values effort over extravagance. Similarly, his bilingual skills reflect an intellectual curiosity and respect for his cultural heritage, traits that might not be immediately associated with a high-profile family like his. Even his childhood interests, like building structures and playing the drums, speak to a deeper sense of individuality. These hobbies weren't about showcasing wealth, they were about self-expression and creativity. It's this balance between the public perception of his life and his private choices that makes Barron so intriguing. And here's the key takeaway. Barron's hobbies and interests reveal a young man who is quietly navigating his place in the world. But there's one final detail about his life that ties everything together, something that could change how you see him entirely. Stay tuned for the last section, where we connect the dots and uncover the bigger picture of Barron Trump's world. Barron Trump's life might seem like a mystery, but his hobbies and interests tell a compelling story. From mastering sports like golf and soccer to expressing his creativity through design and music, Barron is quietly shaping his own path. His bilingual skills and low-key public presence add layers to a young man who is both connected to his family's legacy and carving out a distinct identity. What stands out the most is how Barron balances the expectations of his family's high-profile status with his personal passions. Whether it's on the golf course, the soccer field, or at home, his choices reflect a mix of discipline, curiosity, and individuality. Now here's the question for you. What do you think Barron's future might look like? Could these interests hint at a unique role he's preparing to take on? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your perspective. And before you go, here's a little challenge. Think about someone you know who's quietly forging their own path, much like Barron. Share this video with them. It might just inspire them to embrace their own individuality. Thank you for watching, and stay curious. There's always more to learn about the people who surprise us the most.